welcome back to my Practically Imperfect Life. It is the start of the month, and that means it's time for another monthly goals video. I can't believe we are almost at the end of 2023. Like, this year feels like it's just blown by, and I've already kind of started reflecting back on like how I've done overall this year on my different goals. I've already started to kind of make some notes on things that I might want to make my main focuses for 2024. And all in all, I'm really glad that I chose to share these with you guys this year, because it really has helped improve my accountability for things. It's really motivated me to really be working on stuff. So for those of you who don't know, I share these monthly goals and intentions videos in order to just try to help motivate you and keep myself motivated as well to keep working on different things throughout the course of the month. Now, I do my goals in 4 categories: homeschooling, family, personal, and then home. So let's just dive right on in. I'll tell you how things went in November and then what the game plan is for the month of December. So in the homeschooling category, I was very ambitious in November with 3 different goals. First of all, I wanted to start introducing our campfire curriculum programs that I had bought. We had gotten a late start on them and just hadn't gotten them added into our group routine at the point that we were at. And so we did start off with the Titanic study. Originally, I thought we were going to do natural medicine, but the kids did overrule me, and we are studying the Titanic. And then my second homeschooling goal was to create a holiday or Christmas around the world unit study to do with my teens. I did create that. I did actually a whole video talking about it and then offered it out to you guys for free. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link the video down below for you. It's also in my Christmas playlist. And yes, it is completely free. I put this together. It's a bunch of different resources and video links and projects and things like that I thought my teens would enjoy. And so I wanted to share it as a free resource for you guys in case you were looking for something for your older students to do as well. So it's not too late to request that. All you have to do is email me. My email address is down below at the bottom of the description box, and I will be happy to send that your way. And my third homeschooling goal was to try to organize our labs and our cooking projects that kind of went along with our guest hollow programs into one day a week, kind of like a project day where we weren't doing quite so much in some of the other subjects, but we were really focusing on getting all of those projects done on a single day. That has been so nice. It's so nice to only have to prepare things one day a week, make sure all of the lab supplies are ready, make sure that all of the ingredients are around. And I think for the kids, it's nice as well because they don't feel like they have to rush those more like fun activities or fun projects in order to try to get the more standard schoolwork done, you know? So typically on a project day, I make sure either we only have like the short quizzes on their maths, which take like 10 minutes, or that they don't have a math assignment at all. I kind of looked ahead at how many days we needed to complete for math and figured we could actually get away with doing math 4 days a week and still get done the same time we get everything else done. So that has been nice because that just takes a huge load off of them for that day. And then I just try to make sure that I don't have too much assigned in the other classes as well. So I definitely plan to continue that going forward and just continuing to see how it goes for everybody. But so far, that's been super helpful. Okay, so for the month of November, my first homeschooling goal is to adjust our group schedule in order to allow us to spend a little longer time on a given day on a given subject. So in general, we do group 5 days a week. So that's subjects I do with both of my kids together. And we do a Bible study. We've been going through an Old Testament and New Testament study from Concordia Publishing House. We do German typically 5 days a week, and then we rotate in things like the campfire curriculums and a read out loud. So what I wanted to do was change the number of days we were doing certain things so we could just get into them a little bit more and not feel like we were like breaking it up into small chunks. Because, you know, my kids are older, right? So they have a little longer attention span, plus the material is just, it just gets deeper, right? And harder. So we will do our Daily Grace Co. Advent study 5 days a week still. That's not going to change. That will take us through all the way up till the start of Christmas. And then we are in a New Testament study, and we just do that one 3 days a week. And I don't see any reason to change that. We're going to keep that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But German, we are going to cut back to just 3 days a week for the month of December. So we are going to do that on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and I'll explain why it's that way in a minute. The German material is just getting a bit harder at the level we are at, and so again, we can kind of spend a little extended amount of time on it. We're doing a lot more speaking and writing and things like that right now, so rather than interrupting it after a short lesson, we're just going to spend a little more time on it. Tuesday will be our Christmas Around the World Day. So if you recall, like the unit study I created had 5 different countries. We actually did one last week, so we started at the end of November, but we will do one a week up until Christmas. And this will allow us to go through, read the facts about that country, watch a selection of the videos. I included way more videos in the unit study than I, anticipated actually watching with the kids. So I'm going to kind of pick and choose the ones that I thought they would like the most. We will do one of the hands-on activities for sure. And then like the recipes, we're going to make those for dinner that night. So that will be the kind of the plan, is to make part of, either a side dish or a meal and a dessert on that evening. So dinner plans are already fixed for that. And then Fridays, we are going to do one lesson from the Campfire Curriculum's Titanic unit. We're not in any rush to get through that. So I figure it doesn't matter if we did it more than one day a week or not, but we'll do one lesson on Fridays. So Fridays is actually kind of our lightest day as far as our group subjects go, because I don't think the Campfire Curriculum lessons really take all that long. I mean, I haven't really found them to take more than 15 minutes because I actually do a work shift on Friday afternoons. So that will allow me to have time to do the group subjects with the kids in the mornings, help them with a few things, and then they finish up their independent work after I go into work on Friday. So we're going to see how that goes for the month of December. I anticipate in January we'll go back to kind of our regular schedule, but I just wanted to make sure we could really, get into these subjects each day. So hopefully that will work for that. And then my second homeschool goal for December is to get a little more caught up on grading. I got a wee bit behind just because there were some heavier paper, like longer papers to grade, and we just had a busy November. I mean, I was obviously doing a bunch of stuff around the house and things were just super busy at work. And then I got sick. I was sick for like 6 days. It was awful. And that just put me way behind on everything, just way behind. So I got to get a little caught up. I'd like to just be 100% caught up before we break for Christmas. So that way, going into the new year with a fresh start on things. So my November goals for the home category were, 1, to get all of the bulbs that I had ordered this year planted. I had ordered over 1,000 and they all got planted, every single one. Yes. And actually it was really pleasant to do it because I planted them earlier in the month than what I normally do. So the ground was really soft. I have a brand new a drill with a special planting auger, and it just made it go so fast, and it was wonderful to do that. It didn't hurt that the weather was pretty mild at the beginning of November, so nothing was frozen. I was able to get them all in quickly. We will have a gorgeous, gorgeous show of daffodils and tulips in the spring. I mean, I'm so excited to see them come up and how it all looks. So that was my first home goal. And my second home goal was to do a really good deep clean of the house, like hardcore deep clean, like everything. And I did. It was so gross in some spots, like, sliding door tracks and window tracks and baseboards, they just get blah. And so I got all of those cleaned all the carpets, and then got all of the Christmas decorations up. And so I did film a couple of videos. I filmed one kind of showing the process of deep cleaning, some of the natural cleaners that we've been trying to use so we can cycle out of using so much like chemical-based things. And so if you want to check that out and get a couple recipes for some good natural cleaners, I'll link that down below for you. And then I did a tour of the home showing you guys all of our Christmas decorations. I love it. I love it. In fact, I'm in front of the tree that we have down in our homeschool room right now, and every room just feels so, like, I don't know, Christmassy and cozy, and I'm just super thrilled to have that all done. So I didn't want to do anything too crazy in the month of December related to the home. A fun goal is that I do need to get on, and I do need to put in my first seed order. And then I want to try to get some of my dahlias ordered as well. So I got My dahlias that I had planted this year, I got them dug up. I got the bulbs or the tubers all stored. So hopefully they will survive till next year because I divided them. So what was one tuber for each variety has turned into anywhere from, I think the one I had the fewest of, I got 4 tubers off of, and the one that I got the most, I got 12. So if those all survive, I will have a ton of each of those to plant next year. But I also want to order some new varieties to kind of add to the mix of what I had. And the same thing with like seeds. I just want to get some of the seeds ordered. I don't feel like I need to sit down and order all at once. I want to break it up. So, you know, I'm not breaking my piggy bank all at one time. But I want to get that initial order in so that way those things will arrive on time for me to do my seed starts over the winter. So my second home goal has to do with the little bonus room that is down here in our basement. If you recall, if you saw my kind of homeschool room makeover that I did back, I think it was the beginning of June, I mentioned that we had an extra room down here in the basement that is currently like a catch-all. Like it's a mostly finished room. It's got drywall up and everything, but the ceiling is open. There's not a drop ceiling on it or anything like that, like there is in this room. But it's got file cabinets and an old desk and just a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's kind of a disaster. And my plan at the time was to try to get that room cleaned out to be able to set up all of my seed start supplies. I have a whole bunch of tiered systems with grow lights where I start all of my seeds for like my annuals and a lot of my vegetables that I'm going to plant. And I had them last year. They were all lined up kind of over here and it was a mess and it took up way too much space. And then like the brightness of the grow lights was bothering the kids while they were doing the schoolwork. So I thought, well, I can't do that this year. So I don't want to get that room all the way done in December because I know that that's way too big of a project for me to try to get done in December. But what I want to do is just a couple times a week go in and like take a handful of stuff out of there and find a new home for it. So I know there are tools down there that need to get put away in the proper spots in the garage. I know that there are some things that just need to be thrown away. There's just, you know, things that can be cycled out, donated and whatnot. So if I do it a little bit at a time, I can probably make a good dent in it over the course of the month. And then in January, kind of go back in and like really tackle getting that room set up. So those are my home goals. So in the family category, I really only had one goal for the month of November, and that was to get the kids involved with some of the Christmas setup. So having my daughter help with some of the stuff inside, have my son help with the stuff outside. And we're kind of like halfway there because, you know, she helped with some of the things inside. My son has been helping me here and there with stuff outside. We actually really haven't done a lot outside yet. There was just a lot to clean up. And then the weather has been kind of wet and gross. So he still says he will help me get the lights up. So we're hoping that it doesn't rain for the next day or two so he can get up and help me get those hung. We have these big sheets of plywood in our garage because if you remember from the November goals video, we bought these templates to be able to create like a nativity display. And he's gonna help me get those drawn out and cut out and kind of put all together. And then we will get that set up. So hopefully we can have that done by, you know, the middle to end of the first week of December. And I'm okay with that, you know, not happening right by December 1st. I think that'll be fine. We'll still be able to enjoy it for plenty of weeks. And then it'll be things that we can use again in future years. So for December, I have 2 family goals. Now the first one's a pretty simple one. Near the end of golf season, we took a lot of videos of my daughter doing different types of golf swings. Teeing off, chipping, putting, things like that. And this is to create like a sample video that can be sent out with her golf recruitment forms because she would like to play golf in college. And part of that process is you fill out these recruitment forms when you have a school that you're interested in playing for. And that lets the coaches know like, hey, I would like to come and play for your team possibly. And then they can look at your stats. There's like a resume that had to be made that talks about like her stats at different tournaments and things like that. They review that and then they can kind of follow along with her. But something that was highly recommended by her coach was to put together kind of a sample video, you know, just something that's a couple minutes long that can be emailed to the coaches so they can actually see how she does at different things. So we took a bunch of videos And we just need to get those edited together, kind of go through and pick the best of the different shots and make sure it's just a nice, clean video. So we're going to be talking with her coach and having her coach look over all of the things that we filmed and letting us know which ones he thinks needs to be included. So we just like to get that done by the end of the month, because in January we have plans to do a couple more college tours and to start submitting some of those recruitment forms. So my second family goal is actually something that's really a goal for all of us together in our family, and that is to enjoy the things on our holiday bucket list. Last year, at the end of Christmas, I sat down with the kids and I said, well, what things did we do this year for the Christmas season that you really enjoyed? And what were things that we didn't do that you would like us to try to do next year? And so we wrote out this bucket list, and I had it, saved it for the whole year. We pulled it out, and we're going to try to do as many of these things that are on our Christmas bucket list in the month of December as possible. But we're not going to stress about it. That's the one thing. Like, it's not going to be like a, oh my gosh, we didn't get this done, we better rush out and do it. But rather, it's as we're kind of looking ahead at the week and saying, you know, what is it we'd like to do? We're going to look at that list and say, hey, this would be a great night for us to watch this Christmas movie that was on our list. Or how about we make some hot chocolate and we go look at the Christmas lights? Or let's decorate cookies on this day. Just kind of, it's a great reminder for us of things that we have just been wanting to do and enjoy as a family during the month of December. And a lot of them are things that your family is probably doing as well. Like I said, watching certain Christmas movies, decorating gingerbread houses. We've already got that one done. We went to a festival of trees. We've got tickets to go to a Festival of Lights tour. We're going to go caroling in a couple of weeks. That was on there. So there's just a lot of fun ones. And we're just kind of really looking forward to just enjoying all of those things, making lots of cool memories this Christmas season. Last category is personal goals. So these are goals for me specifically. And I had 2 for November. One of them was to get some more personal reading done. And I did. Funny story though. So I picked up a book to read. I had grabbed it like just on a whim at Barnes & Noble, and it's called D, A Tale of Two Worlds. And I assumed it was like, you know, an adult book, right? It was for adults. Totally a YA book. It took me about 1 chapter to realize that, but by then I was invested and I had to finish reading it. So it was an interesting story. Basically, there's this girl, and it gives like this long intro about her and her family story, but then it completely veers sideways. One day, all of the letter D's disappear from the language, all of them. So people just start saying words without the D in them, and you don't see D written anywhere, and then all the dogs disappear, and she's really confused. And then this professor of hers and his magic dog show her a doorway into another world where the stolen D's are being taken to, and it's kind of like a walk through Narnia type of thing. It was kind of a, I don't know, wild and all over the place book, but I don't know. I sat down and I thought, well, I'm just gonna finish it. And so it wasn't like the grandest literature known to man, but it was a fun book, and you know, sometimes you need some lighthearted reading worked into your day. And then my second personal goal was to get in the sewing room. I finally got into the sewing room. Yes. Did I get every project finished? No. Of course not. Of course not. But I did get time in my sewing room, and I got some significant amount of projects done. I'm very pleased with how far I got on things. So I do have a few things to kind of button up the beginning of December, but now I feel like they're actually all going to be done and ready for Christmas. I feel really good about that. And there was, again, sewing is a peaceful thing for me. There's just something about sitting there and focusing on putting those different pieces together and creating something out of it. I don't know, it's very relaxing, and I very much needed that in the month of November. So in the personal category, I have 2 goals. Now, I've kind of alluded to one of them in the Wrap and Chat video that I released the other week, where I talked about, you know, where I get to a point where I feel kind of overwhelmed with things. I'm just, you know, I'm a busy person. I have a lot of things that I'm involved with, and sometimes it all just kind of but then I'm horrible about asking people for help. I just stink at it. But then I get to a point where I don't understand why people don't see that I need help and just assume and like ask and jump in and, you know, take something off my plate. And then I get mad that they aren't reading my mind and helping me. And when I was sitting down to write my goals for December, earlier today, I realized that I had done that just today. I was running around doing some stuff outside, and I come into the house and like everybody's just relaxing. And I got so mad for a moment. I was like, how dare you all relax and not ask me if I need help? And I had to stop myself and say, did you even approach anybody today and say like, hey, Steve, could you do this for me? Or hey, Emma, could you do that for me? Ethan, could you vacuum this? I hadn't asked anybody for help with anything. So I couldn't be mad. And so that really kind of got me there. And I thought, okay, this definitely has to be a goal for December. I have to be better about asking for help, whether it's with big things or small things, but I need to be very direct about it. You know, I can't just assume people are going to see what I need help with. So I am going to really challenge myself in December, especially when I start to notice that I'm feeling overwhelmed with everything that's going on, to go up to the members of my family and say, hey, can you lend me a hand with this? Could you do this task for me? And just letting them know, like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. It'd mean a lot if you could pitch in and help with this particular thing. Because they all are amazing at doing that when they're asked. And, you know, I'm not a mind reader and I shouldn't expect them to be as well. Sorry, I had to shift the camera down because the way I was sitting, my feet were falling asleep. All right, so my last personal goal has to do with having a more positive outlook and working on giving more words of encouragement or positive encouragement. I have noticed that lately I have been more negative in my thinking, or more grumpy about stuff than normal. Just when stuff happens, instead of trying to look for the positive side of it, you know, I'm kind of, yeah, and I don't know if it's just, you know, where I'm at in life or things that are going on. Like, I don't think there's any one real trigger to it. It's just kind of happened. And I don't like it. I don't like when I'm negative, because it impacts, you know, how I feel, impacts my motivation, it impacts my interactions with people, and especially with my own family. So I want to try to maintain as positive of an outlook as possible this month. Try to look for the bright points in things. And when something happens, instead of immediately grumbling about it, like if something bad happens or something's not quite going my way, try to look for the upside of it and make the best of what's happening. And that kind of flows into this whole idea of being more encouraging. Because again, you know, when you have a positive attitude, it tends to reflect in how you speak to others and interact with others. I was thinking back to the book about the 5 love languages, which, and if you haven't read it, you probably have at least heard about it. This whole idea that we each have like a preference on how people show love to us. And I won't get through all of them, but one of them is acts of service. That's very much my love language. Like when people do things to help me, that's when I feel loved, right? And you know, the problem is oftentimes we try to take our own individual love language and use that to express love to someone else, even if that's not necessarily their love language. Well, I have 2 kids who are very much words of affirmation. Like that's their love language. They feel loved and valued when they hear it from me, or hear it from others. And I realized I haven't been giving that lately like I should. Letting them know that I love them, like in words, letting them know that I'm proud of them, providing them with encouragement and support, like verbal encouragement and support. And it's not that I don't feel that for them. I mean, I'm their biggest cheerleader, right? I am so proud of them. I'm so proud of them and all the things that they do, but I don't say it to them enough. And I have just gotten the feeling, especially I had some chats with them recently, and I realized that I needed to do that more. They needed to hear it from me more. And so I'm going to make a really strong effort to do that for them, to provide them more of that verbal encouragement, to remind them every day that I love them and am proud of them. And, you know, I want to do that with others as well. Try to thank people in person more often, you know, compliment things that they are doing or things that they're involved with. You know, just again, look for those positive things and highlight those and let people know about, you know, what I'm seeing and that what they're doing is great and things like that. Because I think we all, you know, in reality, we all need that, right? We all need that boost to our day, to our self-confidence and things like that. And so I'm going to really try for that in December. All right, that is it. Those are my goals for the month of December. And to wrap up 2023, some of them are things that will be fairly quick. I think I can get done in a day or two. And then there are those I'm going to have to be making a conscious effort to achieve each day this month. But I'm going to start this whole positivity one. I'm going to say I am positive I can reach all of these goals in the month of December. So before you go, guys, don't forget to give this video a like. And if you're not already a subscriber, subscribe so you can follow along with our homeschooling through high school journey. And if you have goals for the month of December, please feel free to share them down below in the comments so that way we can provide each other encouragement as we go through this busy holiday season. Thanks so much for joining me today, everybody. I'll see you in the next video, and happy homeschooling.